Hey everyone, it's Natalie here. So, just wanted to come and do a quick video, hopefully quick, because I really need to get on with some things today, and it took me a long time to film my deck review this morning. So I took a break and I went outside and I walked my dog, and it was so beautiful outside. It's May. It started out like cold and rainy this morning, and it has developed into like a really, really beautiful day. So nice. So, as I was walking along, um, I was reflecting a lot on just different things I want to cover, different aspects of tarot that I want to look at, and what was really with me on my little walk. It's around midday. It's about 12:15 this afternoon. Um, was an art exhibit that my partner and I went to last night, and lately, and I've been talking about this a fair bit lately. I've been feeling a draw towards much simpler artwork that has a lot more negative space, a lot more just a lot more space generally. So, after working with Apparition Spirit Speak deck, for a month, it really put me in a different place in terms of what kind of decks I want to work with, and right now, or like, I guess, what kinds of decks I'm attracted to. And we went into this exhibition last night for a friend of ours who we've known for some time, and I've known her almost as long as I've been with Tom, and Tom has known her for probably 20 years. So she's a very old friend. And she had an exhibition of some work that, as soon as we walked in, I thought, oh, what's this? What is this stuff that she's doing now? Because it's different from a lot of the stuff I've seen her do before. And it was very quick that I could kind of walk around just like looking at it and begin to get a sense of maybe where she was coming from. And I found myself having a lot of empathy suddenly. A lot, actually. And feeling really, really pulled towards, I wonder what else she has been going through in her life. So she eventually came out. She came out of where she was in the back of the of the gallery, because we were there fairly early. And really, art shows, if it says the gallery opens at 6 for something, it'll really start to cook around 8 o'clock. And we were there relatively early, and so there was hardly anyone there yet. And so she came out, and my partner immediately was like, hey, so, I normally don't do this. I find artists' statements really pretentious and so on, but I wanted to just ask, like, do you have an artist statement up anywhere? Because I'm kind of struggling to sort of, connect with where you're coming from, which took me by surprise, because I was already, this is how art works, right? And I'm already connecting with all of these images and so on. And she started talking, and I just have like her gallery card, the card from the gallery, which shows one of her pieces. I just kind of want to see if I can get the camera. Yeah. So she was talking about, it's called the Respite sequence. And in one of the paintings, behind one of the paintings that had the most color in it, and the most, I guess, frenetic looking, marks and paint marks, behind it on the wall, she had taped up, dozens and dozens of things that look like this. This is actually a deck interview that I just did. I wonder if I have any other like to-do notes. Basically, yeah, here we go. Like, it looked like this. It looked like big, long to-do lists that were taped in various different, colors and so on, covering the wall behind it. And one of the pieces that she had done was just a giant thick stack like this of to-do lists, with a huge copper plate, the exact same size and probably about half an inch thick, like placed on top of it. Anyway, she just started kind of talking about how this had been a way of literally kind of getting her mind off of things and dealing with how hectic things had been, which was kind of where I had started to go with it. I was looking at that and I thought, wow, what I'm seeing here is someone with so much on their minds who is really longing for the kind of open spaciousness that these like almost semi-landscapes provide, where there's no buildings, there's just connection, openness, ease, space, gentleness. And what I started to see in these marks and in the way that these marks were made was the endless to-do lists, the endless, cycle of the mind. They're very swordsy in nature. If you look, like, this is the kind of color palette we often see in swords, and in the suit of swords, especially, traditional RWS based decks. And as I looked and spent more time kind of going into them, like, you can really see like some of these marks, they're made very quick. There's someone with a paintbrush kind of just whipping it around back and forth. And then there's somewhere it feels like she's taken more time to just kind of mix them and so on. So they're coming from different places, from different impulses. And they're just so alive. And yet in all of this disorder, frenetic energy, chaos, etc., there is this incredible stillness, ease, space, openness. And it was just such a beautiful experience to see that. And I never got a chance to tell her that was where I was coming from and what I was seeing. And the other aspect of it that really struck me on my walk was that she, I don't know where things are right now. It's been a while since we've seen her, actually. But I remembered that her father has been chronically ill for a very long time, and that she's been his primary caregiver. And at the same time, she's been maintaining an active art practice for herself. She has started up a non-profit to do artwork with kids. She's a very serious artist. She sings. She's had a lot. She's had a lot on her plate. And I suddenly could really, really identify with the space that she was coming from. And why, for her, that created respite and calm. Yeah. And so it may very well start to influence my own artwork, I think. I could really see, that this is, it's creating this order out of this chaos. And it also just brought me back to the tarot. This was offering her a sense of respite. It was putting the energy, taking it from her and putting it someplace and giving her a break, a physical, actual break from the busyness of her day, of her mind, and so on. And it really got me starting to think, that style, that is also the style of artwork in the tarot that I'm very attracted to right now. Is, there's a lot of space, a lot of openness. I mean, it's completely different than something that's got the sort of naive simplicity, right, of the apparition or the spirit speak, Mary Elizabeth Evans' style. I'm thinking more in terms, and I don't have it, it's on my wish list, but of like the shamanic, what is it, the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot that's on Etsy. Just the more open, less indicative approach to looking at things. It's probably why at different points in my life, I've been very attracted to working with brain fart. I'm so full of brain farts at the moment. The Marseille. The simplicity in the images of the Marseille. But even less so, like this is just so open. But to me, this is a swords card. This is kind of a, maybe a two of swords. Maybe possibly, a 9, 8 or a 9. The whole exhibition felt very, 8, 2, 8, and 9 actually in nature of swords. And I just felt like I really understood her. But I also could understand the artwork, and I could understand the place it was coming from, and I didn't feel the need for an artist's statement in the same way that my partner did. And I realized it's because with tarot, it's asking us to do something different. We're not there to evaluate. We're not there to judge the artwork so much as, and the quality of it as art, so much as we're asked to, and I'm looking at this because I've just seen a new mark that I didn't realize was there. I'll come right back to it. But we're being asked to look into the art and connect with it. So the judgment we make about the art is about, can I connect with this in a way that makes it helpful to others? I think I'm finding in my own reading style and my own work with this that more and more I'm asking, not only can I read with this, but I'm starting to understand the artist who made it. And that, the process of who is this artist? Where are they coming from? What is that experience? How is their life, etc.? That has become as much a part of reading those cards as, as the use of them as a self-help tool or as a means of divining, I suppose. So I don't know if you can see this. This is what just caught me off guard. It went whoosh, like this from the corner of my eye. But there's just this mark that looks almost like a cut. And there is red underneath it. Imagine that in a reading. Imagine that. So, yeah. There are several decks that kind of have this aesthetic, this kind of open, spacious aesthetic. And I think too, like where your eyes are drawn during a reading is fascinating. What you see in something during a reading is, I'm thinking about, this person, the person who made these paintings, and kind of going into like, who is she? What is her experience? That suddenly is an open wound, that I'm seeing in that piece. And I don't think I ever saw it before that, which is interesting too. Anyway, yeah, I love that open, spacious quality that the tarot itself has anyway, in terms of its ability to just help us understand how to look at things. Literally, how can I look at something and really see the essence of what's there, from a space that is, inside of me, is open and clear and really coming from a place of just being interested in the truth. So anyway, that was just my little like going to walk the dog insight moment that I felt like, hey, I think I'll go talk about that and share it. So maybe I'll see if I can find her email address and share it with her as well. She's a really, really remarkable woman, remarkable human being. Yeah, I really admire her deeply. So, all right, folks, see you again soon.